Hey everyone, Genome here, coming at you with a quick how-to video, something a little bit different, but something that was kind of requested a little while ago. One of my viewers asked me, he's also a content creator, he asked me how I do my green screening, and that was in specific, and then in general he asked how I was doing my editing. So I figured I'd do a quick little how-to tutorial of how I actually do that. So let me pause this for 1 second. So what you're seeing here is my editing software. I use Filmora. I actually have two different softwares. I'm actually recording this with Filmora Screen. That's another one that allows me to screen capture while at the same time recording the video off my webcam. So I'm actually running two different softwares, Filmora and Filmora Screen. And I actually defaulted back to the older version of Filmora, which I'm a little more used to just for the video. But there's a newer version of it that's out there, Filmora 9 I think it is. It's a little more robust, but I don't know it nearly as well. The layout's a lot different, so I figured I'd stick with what I knew, okay? So the first thing you need is your first video. So, well, not your first video, but you need your video footage, all right? So the stuff with the green back here is my video footage. Now, this will be like 2-track here video, so it's going to be far different than it's normally done. So how we're going to work this is, first we're going to drop our intro in here. So here's your intro. Okay. This is your main track here. Now what people would think this will actually be on the main track, but the green screen will be on your secondary track. So let's go ahead and stick something in here for a background. So in this case, I shot a Punisher video earlier. So I want the Punisher skull with some blank area to be my background. You don't have to do this. You can just use colors. Like Filmora comes with lots of generalized colors that work pretty well. I'll use that from time to time, but I like to make my backdrops a little more interesting. So I'm going to put the Punisher skull down here. Okay, let's extend that some. Okay. Now, for the secondary track, which is I'm going to green screen on top of, I'm going to drop that down here and line it up. This needs to have a background for the entire length of what you want green screened. So basically the whole video. Alright, so this actually controls the size increments you can see. So, alright, so we're still back here at the beginning. So we're going to have to do some editing, right? Because you have a lot of false takes. You're getting set up in front of the camera. If you see here, this green back here, I threw a green like piece of felt cloth over the back of my chair, so it is also invised out too. A little extra something. Let's see if I have a better shot of it here. The one thing, it's really important, I don't have it set up perfectly here, but it's important to have your lighting very even on your green screen. So you don't have to have like a store-bought green screen or anything. You can do this with a sheet that's dyed or whatever. Or even, it doesn't have to be green. Green just works the best. I have one that's black and it's also white. So if you have like t-shirts or something in the background that would disappear because you're getting rid of the green, it might be wise to use one of those different colors. But see, these wrinkles won't show up. That's not a big deal. You do want it as flat as possible, but the key is the lighting. Keep the lighting very even, or else it won't actually eliminate. Like some of this right down here in the shadow would not be kicked out when you do the chroma key. So, okay, that all sounds complicated, but it's really not. All right, so you got your. I didn't like this other footage, so I put some other different footage in there from earlier today. So now that you have your secondary film stock, which is actually your main, what's actually going on, but this would be your secondary. You'll see why in a second. It'll be superimposed on the backdrop here in a second. So first you go to your green screen option and whatever your recording software is. This will look a lot different in the newest version of Filmora. I once again didn't want to use it because I'm not as quick with it, but it's a lot more robust in the new version. So I want this all green to go away. This needs to be invisible in order for my backdrop to show up. So for here on the chroma key, you're going to click, make parts of clip transparent, and you can even choose the color. There's different nuances of green in there. Sometimes one's a little too light, but you want it to try to be, like I said, as uniform as possible. So it's real important to keep your stuff lit. But I keep repeating that. Now you see how here already this is basically defaults to one of the best settings for it. It's at 26 right now, so everything's crisp and clear and defined. You don't see any boxes. If you lower this down, say around 15, 14, while it disappears, And let me also, oh, by the way, you can also manipulate the size of your secondary video. So click off of it. Now you see this little box right here? That means you don't have quite enough green screen going on. It hasn't completely got rid of it, so you need to go back and crank it up. You want to do the minimal amount possible, because after a certain point, it starts bleeding other colors, closer to the green spectrum. So really, minimal is best until you get rid of all those edges. You can't see any fuzziness or anything there. So, all right, you are superimposed. You can make it any size you want. I want to try to keep it off the skull, whatever. But and you can move it anywhere on the screen you want. You can turn it upside down if you want. I don't know why you want to do that, but whatever. You could if you wanted to. All right. So that's a good looking pose for me there. So next off, you have to get rid of things like false starts or pauses, awkward pauses. We're not too worried about the content of what's going on right here. So let's say I don't like this section right here. So you kind of click here and you pull it to where, whatever you're trying to get rid of is. Say I botched this segment up here, okay? And you can just delete that portion out and then collapse it down, okay? Great. All right, so we got the green screen down. There's our intro, by the way. I forgot to say, intro, usually you want to do a transition of some kind. I like just simple dissolves or fades. So at the end of your intro, it fades in.
Hey everyone, Genome here.
Coming to the next episode of the main video. My series okay, so you got the green screen done. Maybe you want to add some more effects, right? Some more pictures, whatever you want to drop in here. So in order to do that, you import stuff from whatever files or wherever they're at in your computer. And we'll just grab another one here for fun. I have stuff on screen. Here. That's from earlier. All right, so there's files, whatever. I got some other stuff up here. So you take your picture. This is a transparency, by the way, so it'll show up. Pretty cool. And you move it wherever you want on this screen and just drag and drop for the most part. So it's pretty easy. There's a lot of ways to make these come in creatively. I usually like give them some simple animations. I don't go too crazy with them. And there you go. Now you have an alligator, or sorry, crocodile. Look at the snout.
Day of mine collecting time.
Okay,
so
now you got a crocodile.
What better way to do that than with one of those
on top of your green screen and everything else. There's tons of stuff. You can layer this incredibly deeply. Multiple things going on here. So let's move him off to the side. Oops. So let's move him over there. Let's pull up here. Move him over here. Okay. So you want a crocodile eating Wolverine who's killed Punisher, right? So you don't have to give them all animations. So you pull it back here to make sure everything lines up, and
a day of mine collecting
there you go.
So
all right, so you can do this layer after layer after layer.
Iconic.
Now say you also want to do sound. Same deal. It's mostly drag and drop. Once again, I'm sure most softwares are like this out there. So, but all right, so chickens is nice and not too loud, right? So I want some chicken noises to go with my pictures here. Maybe the crocodile is hungry for chicken. So, bam.
The heyday
now you have a sound effect on top of
what better way to do
a
that
picture that's on top of the green screen. So there you go. I mean, green screen is not too difficult. It's the setup that's really the hardest part, and make sure you have the software to do it. But once you get it down, it's no problem. And editing is editing. You pull out false starts. Now sometimes I'll do things like, for more advanced things, you can go for inserting video into, let's see if I have an example here, into your actual, on top, insert it between the video. It's hard to explain. So let's take one of my favorite scenes from Star Trek or something here. Okay, we're going to put this into the main area. So you got to put a cut in there. It's an invisible cut. I mean, it'll play right over it, and you never know you missed anything.
But don't you really...
So in that cut on the main screen, you will stick your movie clip in there. Everything else should move over accordingly. So now, off your main video, you suddenly have a video edited in.
So this is old Gray. I'd swear that it was Darjeeling.
Those people don't even actually talk about
so
or
look
even
at
know
that.
about.
So it's pretty cool. This gets really difficult when you have multiple videos going on, though, because it's hard to line up. Like, looks like you say you're shooting A and B roll. So you got the main camera here and another angle or another camera shooting another angle. You have to line up the audio just perfect. When you do cuts, it can mess things up, so it takes a long time. I can spend 6 and 7 hours editing some of the bigger videos because it's just that meticulous. So that's why I don't put out that much content compared to maybe some others, because I do a lot of work in post-production and whatever. But as far as like the setup itself behind me, green screen with a frame. Let's see if I can show it to you. Okay. Nothing too fancy. Lighting is important. You have to have good lighting. I have exterior umbrella lighting for my videos as well. So that's pretty much it. If you want to edit yourself with green screen and make your production values look really nice, that's a great way to do it. And but if not all programs will let you run simultaneous webcam with yourself green screening onto something like I do with my Hearthstone videos. So yeah, you'll probably need specialized software for that if yours doesn't include it. I had to get specialized software. So anyway, hopefully this is useful to you. If you have any further questions, you need some further demonstrations, let me know. But really, the imagination is your only limit when it comes to this stuff. It's really user-friendly. Look, I've never edited stuff, I mean, outside of PowerPoint and things in the past before I started YouTube. And, you know, you learn it real fast. Trial and error. There's lots of cuts, and it just takes patience. So anyway, hopefully this helped you. If you want to see more things like this in the future, just let me know, and I'll be sure to crank some stuff out. And I appreciate you watching, and well, like I said, that's pretty much it. Enjoy the editing, and this is Genome, out.